played music professionally for like 20-some years. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No. What'd you play?
I was a harmonica player. I did the Chitlin scene, the blues scene. Just kind of toured around the West Coast, mostly San Diego, but, whatever. And that's what they used to say, because we would pun on each other on stage all the time, and I'd get done with the solo or something on my harmonica, and then the drummer would get on the mic and say, "Funny."
Hey Mark. All we can see is your chin.
Okay, wait. How's that?
Oh, there you go.
Better?
Yeah. Now we can see the whole turkey neck and all. It's good. It's perfect. Yeah. Hey, so
want to see my gobbler? Should I show you my gobbler?
No, thanks.
Okay.
So the wife is gone, so you're allowed in the house, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I think everyone thinks you live in the fucking garage out there.
I wish I did. I used to when I had more energy, but then I had more strength to do things, but a lot less money. Now I have a little more money and not the strength to do it,
Right.
Yeah.
So
well, look at Richie fucking like walking around with an attitude, acting like we made him get on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. The conversation started on WeChat. We were video chatting, and he's like, we were just still, we were talking, and he was like, well, if you want to invite me, go ahead and invite me. If not, I ain't going to be mad. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll invite you.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
You're welcome, dude.
Because I don't have any self-esteem, so I got to get it from other people. Their approval and get them to say they like me.
Hey, there's Andrew. No, that's Seth Byers, not Andrew.
Hello, what up?
Hey, what up?
What's up?
What's up, Reggie?
Seth, good to see you, man.
Same here. How you been?
I've been all right.
Jesus fucking Christ, is Seth Byers the most handsome man in window cleaning? I just gotta know. He's gotta be, right?
I gotta be fighting for top 3.
Yeah, for top 3 at least, bro. And he's drinking PBR. A man after my own heart.
There you go.
And my underwears.
It's on Sunday, huh? Nobody cleans windows on Sundays?
Nobody cleans windows on Sundays.
No.
I do, man, sometimes. Not today. But
Not today?
Yeah.
Why not today?
When I need the money, I clean windows on Sunday.
I need the money. So Mark, what's up with your building restoration? How's that going, man? Is it a shit show?
Yeah, well, every single task that you take on a building like this is like a huge challenge, because it's a huge building with a lot of people walking around, and we got swing stages set up, and you got to set up drop zones. So like sometimes it takes an hour just to get everything set up, because at the end of the day you got to unplug all your power cords and make sure no one's going to take a ride type of thing.
Right.
And when it goes smooth, it's pretty good, but it's a 6-story building, and we only do 5 floors because the first floor is kind of inset and doesn't have the same issues.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a firm believer. I haven't tracked it down. I actually know the window cleaning company that does the building. I haven't had a chance to call them, because the 4th floor of the building is the corporate office, and the 4th floor is worse than any other floor, and I'm kind of thinking they did an acid wash on that floor to try to make it better.
Uh-huh. And did it
So
work?
that's no, yeah, it did at the time.
It didn't work. Imagine that.
Yeah, the swing stage is 50 feet long, and you can cover between 7 and 8 windows depending on how it's set up, and 2 guys can spend a full day on 7 windows. So it's taxing. Yeah, and then 6 is very easy, 5 is a little worse, 4 is horrendous, and 3 and 2 have been average. So like one day we'll go there and just do nothing but the 4th floor. Then we'll go back and do 5, 6, and probably 2 or maybe 3. And we try to get them done in well, we've had some areas that haven't been as bad and have gone much quicker, but it beats up the guys. I'm burning up polishers. Today I spent my time putting all new brushes in the polishers. I just got 2 in from, thank God for Amazon. You get them in 2 days. I've got 2 that are going into service for this week. And I mean, I'm not complaining because they've all got years of money making on them. But, when you're constantly running them 8 to 10 hours a day, nonstop, taxing the hell out of them, you can't expect it to last, forever.
Yeah.
What happened to TJ? Where's he at?
I'm trying to get a hold of Jason.
Oh, okay. Go as you were. What's up, Seth?
Yeah, Seth. What are you doing? What's going on? Give us some news, man.
Well, I took last week off. We shut down the company once for a week every year in August. So we just kind of wrapping up vacation right now. So it's been pretty low key this past week, but getting after it on Monday. So should be good.
What?
Why do you shut down? Because they want everybody to have a break?
Yeah, it's kind of that time of year. Like, we start probably second week in March, and I beat the hell out of the guys. So where I am, a lot of people are on vacation trying to get their last hurrah in before all the kids go back to school. So it's kind of difficult to schedule anyways, sometimes for us in August. So taking a week off really kind of helps our schedule anyways.
Little catch-up
Nice.
action? Yeah.
Yeah, everyone gets a break, and it just everyone's back renewed.
Except you don't get a break. You got to go and do all the paperwork and all the office bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much. I was running around doing estimates most of this last week, but still not bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Are you? I got a question for you, Seth. You don't do any like gutter cleaning or anything in the fall, do you?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of gutter cleaning.
So do you set up like a flyer or like a reminder to existing customers, or do they just call you?
So we have a lot of customers that we've been doing now like 3 or 4 years. So we just send out like a blast email letting people know like, hey, we're gonna give you a call. We'll be out sometime in early November for you to come clean them. And new customers, we do advertise and try to bring in some new customers, but we've been cutting down on that a little bit because it's kind of actually hard to keep up with all the work. So
right.
Yeah, we're just trying to retain the customers we actually like doing work for. So
right.
It's been good.
So Mark, in the fall times, are you primarily, because down there in Florida, you could clean windows all year round. Is there like you guys don't have gutter cleaning season. Do you have like pressure washing season or something like that down there?
Well, pressure washing is year round. A lot of the gutter cleaning goes to the residential guys or the pressure cleaning guys. I've never cleaned gutters in my life, to be honest with you.
Jason.
If I've done roof cleaning, I blow the gutters out, but there's not a huge. We have a lot of gutters. Everybody around here has gutters. I just don't see anybody specifically only, or ramping up and doing gutter cleaning or even advertising for it, So I really don't. I've tried to take those black streaks off the outside of the gutters, and that's
the tiger striping.
I don't know. I tried a couple different things that were recommended, and I just get frustrated and say that's
Richie
not for me.
Gonna fall
Gutter butter.
Whoa!
Yo, what's up, man?
That's Jason Snyder.
What's up, fellas?
You're super loud, so we've got
Jason?
that covered.
Am I? All right, let me turn my mic down.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, that's a way better. Jason is the recipient of a bronze brush and a gunslinger, courtesy of T. Squeege, because other dudes are assholes. And Jason,
Hell yeah!
and Jason is a really good.
Gunslinger's awesome.
Do you like it?
Gunslinger is awesome. Love it.
Hey, guess what,
Absolutely.
Richie? Guess what, Richie? I gave him a free sea sponge with it too, and it didn't even break the bank. It didn't even cost me a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, you know what, Richie? I have a question for you, Richie. Why would I buy a gunslinger, and then I have to spend another $3 on a sea sponge?
Yeah, how dare you make us buy a fucking sea sponge? You.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame. I understand. I'm guilty, man. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
you guys,
darn.
Have mercy on me, man. Have mercy on me.
Yeah.
But I personally don't use the sponge. Some guys find the need for it. I think it's a great thing. I mean, it's not something that I really even thought about when I was making it. And then I had the bucket splash out on me a couple times when I was doing the prototypes, but I just kind of moved it on the side, and I never had an issue with it.
I'll be honest, I really haven't had that issue either. And the only time I've ever had any splashing issue is because I'm using a really short mop. You know what I mean? Like a 12. There's nothing in there and I've got a shitload of water. I'm used to, I like to use it to keep a shitload of water in it. You know what I mean? But that's just me personally.
Yeah.
So I don't have to walk back and forth to the truck because I'm a fat loser. And I'm super lazy. You know what I mean? So I just want to be as lazy as possible. The least amount of trips to the truck for me is better. I'm saving time. It's more time I'm standing on the glass. You know what I mean?
One of the things that you guys mentioned, and I never even thought about it, because like when I had my gunslinger, and I carry extra water in it, because sometimes like I do just storefronts. I mean, I used to do lots of residential. I got out of it. That's another story. I don't even want to get into that now, but I just do storefronts now. And sometimes when I pull up in a business district, I got like 4 or 5 storefronts I got to do right next.
Right.
And so what I was doing is I would fill the gunslinger up and, a little bit of water, and I would be able to do all the stores, but I needed an extra dip. Like sometimes I would open the reservoir like that. But then you guys came along, you and Mark, because you guys are like a little smarter than I am, I think. Like, well, why don't you just bend the fucking mop and stick it down there and wet it like that? Well, man, I never even thought about that. Yeah. Now I do that all the time now. Yeah. I just kind of like that to get extra water. So
or you can do what Mark Tanner suggested and put a little sponge in the bottom of it, and then stick your mop against the window and squeeze the sponge out onto the fucking mop, and then no one's the wiser, because that's titties and beer right there. That's way better than dipping both ends. You know
I remember when I used to carry buckets, like back when I first started cleaning windows, I would carry the bucket with me everywhere. And I would get out of the truck, and I would have the bucket, and I'd be going down the street carrying my bucket. But if I didn't drop a mop in the bucket, it would splash all over the place. Right. So I would just drop my mop in the bucket, and then it wouldn't splash.
Are you trying to introduce physics into window cleaning, sir? Because I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it.
How much commercial work do you do, Seth?
Not a whole lot. The only commercial work I do is for property management companies. So a lot of that is just like 55 plus communities will go in, do all the outside cleaning.
Do you own a gunslinger?
I do. I have 2.
All right, then you can continue to speak then. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Now, it's like some guys, they just don't like them. I don't know, that's fine. I mean, you can't please everybody. I got a really good friend of mine, and he just likes his Ninja bucket, dude. I mean, and that's the end of that story. I was giving him prototypes. Yeah, they're really cool. Then I drive by a job, I'd see him with his Ninja bucket, And I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, I don't know, man. I like that. Some guys like the pivot. They like it, the hinge mechanism on it, which I think is an accident waiting to happen. But, this guy's been cleaning windows for 25 years or something, and he's just got so accustomed to that's, he just doesn't want to whatever. So, well, that's how it goes. You're going to have a percentage of people that no matter what you do, they're just going to like their whatever.
Listen, I sent Richie a picture. I was working on a swing stage, and I had it's not a Yeti, so don't get all crazy with the NRA, but it's a Yeti type.
Like the abominable snowman kind of thing, right? The Yeti, isn't that what they call it?
Yes, well, I had my Tervis Yeti style cup, and it fell over on the swing stage because swing stage is moving around, and I was wearing my gunslinger, and I'm like, you know what? It fits. It's tight, but it goes in the lower chamber of the gunslinger, I still had room for my mop and squeegee in there, and I'm walking around with a cup full of ice water. I mean, you're never going to do that with any plastic pile of shit.
Listen, Mark. I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but Mark goes fucking live, and he's showing everybody this credit card on this window, and he's got his gunslinger on his fucking hip, and he kind of pans the camera over, and there's a fucking sippy cup in his gunslinger. I'm like, I sent him a text message like, what the fuck's with the cup and the gunslinger? He's like, man, I'm using it for everything. I was like, next thing you know, he's gonna have a fucking sub sandwich stuck in it.
I do. I have my lunch. But the moral of the story is this: if you buy a plastic Boab, the only thing you can carry to drink is a juice box.
True story.
True story. True story.
Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, I sent this picture to you the other day.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there's I do a couple residentials. They're just easy ones I kept over the years, and in the picture I don't use a step ladder because it's just a one story, so I use this little short 2-section mini pole, and I have it carry a foxtail, and so I pull the screens out and I dust the screens out, and I clean the windows with the two-section pole. And in that picture I had my 2-section pole, my foxtail, my razor, and my squeegee. And I used a 2-in-1 squeegee on a little whack, and I got it all in the gunslinger. So I mean, like I use it for all kinds of shit. I never thought about putting a Yeti in there, but maybe I'll try that.
Hey, listen, man. Not for nothing, but nobody is going to know this, but there's an Easter egg in this podcast. That's all I'm going to say. You guys are going to have to look super fucking hard for the Easter eggs in this podcast. Mark is fucking shitting.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, I'm not. So, I was just talking to Seth, and I asked Richie. I haven't asked Richie or Jason yet. Do you guys have anything that changes in the fall months coming into like September, October? And I'll start with Richie first. I know he just got done talking, and Jason's up there all creepily with the phone real close to his face, looking like a sexual predator. So in the fall, Richie, in the fall, Richie, are there any do things change in California for Richie Blue in the fall times?
We get a little bit of a wet season. I guess that's what you can call it. Where we'll get rain on and off, and people are out here. They're just kind of trained up differently. Like as soon as that, like California is like, you can always tell a California driver. They're the guys that you're pulling out of the ice plant 5 minutes after it starts raining.
Right.
Because they don't. Like they get a little water on the road and they're like, oh my God,
Right.
And so sometimes like. I was joking earlier about working on Sundays. Like I'll work on a Sunday because of the rain or the potential of rain. So I'll have to bump my schedule around a little bit, and it's kind of annoying actually because I go by and they go, well, it looks like it's going to rain, and I'm like, this is California, man. Even if it did rain, it's not going to rain.
Well.
But there's that aspect of it. It's like psychological warfare, during that time of the year. But I mean, it's a couple of months, I just got to hold the customer's hands and just kind of reassure them that, everything's going to be okay. And then I do the windows. But other than that, it's just year round. It's pretty much the same. Now, my friend Randy and Steve they do residential, commercial, mid-rise. They work all year round, but it's seasonal. Their residential is seasonal, and it doesn't have anything to do with the weather necessarily as much as it does like the holidays. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so they get a big push on residential a certain time of the year, and then it slows down a little bit, and then it picks back up.
What is that?
So, Jason, it sounds like a dolphin. Jason, is that Flipper? Do you like you're in Indiana? You're close to me. I'm assuming in the fall. I mean, you work for a soft wash company. That's primarily, your guys' biggest meal ticket. But in the fall, do you guys do fall cleanup like leaves, gutters, shit like that? I mean, you do. Now,
Yeah.
how do you go about? I asked Seth, do you put like a flyer together, or do you make calls? Do you do emails, or do you advertise for gutter cleaning?
No.
What do you do? Nothing. They
No,
just call
people-
you.
That's it, man.
Oh, whatever. You're not
people-
that fucking cool, Jason.
It's good.
Jason, how long
You
has that company been around?
Going on 3.5 years now.
That's not a long time. That they must be making an impact if after 3.5 years they're
Mark, I don't
getting
know
that many calls.
I don't know if you know or not, Mark, but Jason is a childhood friend of mine. Me and Jason kind of grew up next door to each other.
He's the guy that you brought to work with you, and he kind of liked window cleaning. And now he's starting to do it.
No.
I want to hear about
me and Jason.
man.
I want to hear about some ghost stories, man.
Jason
Jason and I were building a storage shed, a big barn for the local high school's girls softball team. And I would come in, and he'd be like, he's like, "What are you doing?" We hadn't seen each other in a year or two, and he's like, "Hi, how you doing?" and all this shit. And I'm like, "I'm doing pretty good. I've been cleaning windows for the last 3-4 years." And he's like, "Cleaning windows?" And I just told him that the money was, how about the money involved in it? And he's like, "Get out of here." And then he went and, through our conversation, he's like, "Fuck it, I'm going to buy some equipment and start cleaning windows." And then ran an ad in the paper and spent, what'd you say, Jason, 2 days on one house? And he's like, "I'm never fucking doing that again." He's like, "I was getting all these calls, man. They were just calling me like crazy."
They were.
And now he's now he's the man over there in Indiana and shit, just like that. How you like them apples?
Yeah. See, so this is how it went. I started working for myself, just because the economy was shit when I started to, and I needed some extra cash. So that's how it all started. And then I lost my primary job, so I ended up going to work for a professional window cleaning company. And that's where I learned everything, because they were so old school about how they did it all.
Yeah, Jason's got some skills. I'll give him that. I mean, he's not as good as me, but he's all right.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Of course
I'm just
not.
busting.
I appreciate that, though, brother.
I busted his balls the whole day when we were together. It was fucking the best thing ever.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I fucking loved it, man.
Yeah.
But so basically, I was bought out by a guy who I did some work from. He offered me the opportunity to start a soft wash company from the ground up. So he proposed to me some money, and from there he gave me the keys to drive. So I started the soft wash company, went down to Florida, got hooked up with AC Lockyer and all those guys, great bunch of people. But, along the line of, doing the soft wash, I still have a window cleaning company and power washing company that I own on the side. Okay,
so he just can't get enough.
Well, no, but here's the thing. I got tired of relying on the man and being unsure as to where this job was going to take me. I wanted a backup plan.
Right.
I'm going to be 41 here in about a week, man, and I'm just tired of dealing with other people.
Right.
So basically for me it was I had a lot of customers who did like my work and who continuously call me, even after 8 or 9 years in it. And I've been lucky enough over the last 3 years that that part of the business has tripled. The soft wash industry only does so well for us because the guy who actually owns the company owns another large-scale company that's an inside janitorial business, basically, for big, massive corporations. He puts over $30,000 a year into magazine promotions and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Not to mention, Fort Wayne itself is 264,000 people. We have a reach of almost 2 million individuals that we'll travel to work for.
Right.
So, I mean, it wasn't like we started the soft wash gig from the ground up. That would have been very, very difficult to do. Having the financial backing there to start off with is what catapulted that. And 3.5 years in, it's a beast.
That's great, man. Well, not to get sidetracked or anything, but I mean, I don't know. is fucking Seth Byers the sexiest fucking man in window cleaning or not? I just need to know. I mean, this guy, he couldn't be any more handsome. I don't know if he could be any more. I mean, each time he comes on, he's more handsome than the last time he was on. It's like, it's almost like he's like, you know what? I gotta go get me a fresh cut and shit before I get on the Outlaw Window Cleaner podcast. Are you married, Seth?
He's turning red.
You're getting married next summer?
I'm Irish, so the more I drink, the redder I get anyway.
Yes.
No, I thought that's
I drink on.
I thought TJ's making you blush.
He might make me blush, a little bit.
Do you know what anabuse is?
No.
You know that stuff you take. Anabuse is they give it to guys that like get in trouble with the law maybe, and they get on probation for like because they were drinking, and so they don't want them drinking, so they send them to A&A meetings and put them on anabuse. And the anabuse, what it does is it blocks the alcohol from getting processed through your liver, and it backs.
Hey, hold on a second, Richie. Did you say meetings?
Meetings? Meetings.
He said meetings.
He said
meetings. He said A&A meetings.
A&A meetings.
So that keeps them from drinking. So when they go to drink alcohol, it makes them sick. You guys ain't okay. So I was going to say the only time my face gets red is when I drink on anabuse.
Hey, look, we got that here in Indiana, and you can go to the bars and pick the ones out who are drinking on top of that shit. It's crazy. It's crazy. It don't stop them. They're nuts, man. They'll kill themselves on that stuff.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, so, like, I don't know, bro. So what do you guys want to talk about?
You were saying that Seth was handsome.
Yes, Seth is handsome, and what's weird is I said, what do you guys want to talk about, wieners, and then you mentioned that I said that Seth was handsome, so there goes that.
TJ, look, where's your hands? Where's your hands? Let's see your hands. Okay.
So I've got a topic that I'd like to discuss. Everyone here is, been in the business for a little bit of time. One of us, is more handsome than the other, but as far as competition goes, would you guys ever shit on your competition on purpose? Like leave a bad review on Facebook or something like that? Would you ever do anything like that to a competitor? Do you feel it's necessary to step on someone else's neck in order to get by?
It never is, T.
No, I've never done that, and I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure everyone's had a cross word or a stern glance at the competition, like, what are you doing over there? You know what I mean? Type of shit. You know what I mean? But I mean,
well,
go ahead.
You got to think about it, though, brother. I mean, it's just like social media, man. When you see somebody that's bringing drama on their Facebook wall or something like that, regardless if they're a victim in it, it still looks grimy as hell on their part.
Right.
It's not professional at all. It shows that you don't have integrity in what you do. Mm-hmm. It shows that you don't trust and believe in yourself and what you can do. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, it shows a weakness. It shows that, you're allowing your competition to get up under your skin, which, you shouldn't even do that.
Right. Well, we all know Mark. We all know Mark back in the day when he was in the 80s down there in Florida. He said that there was some really gangster shit going on down there, with competition.
No, there would it was a lot different time then. There was no social media like that, and window cleaning there was it was a lot of guys that would get into window cleaning in Florida would be financed by brokers out of New York. And they basically would sell routes for 20 to 25 times the dollar. So every $1,000 of revenue would cost you about $25,000. So that's a significant amount compared to what it sells now. Okay. Well, here's a story that happened to my father. When he decided to go into window cleaning business, he found a broker that was selling work, and the guy owned a business out of New York, and it was being serviced by another guy that wanted out. So he was going to buy, let's say, $3,000 a month worth of revenue, which was $75,000. Okay. the broker says, speak to your family, put up 25 grand, and I'll finance the rest at 20% interest.
Holy
okay, now you take
shit balls.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you, dude.
Holy
I'm not kidding you.
shit.
And basically, you're going to put your house up to these guys
Right.
in order to get financed. And what they did was they would sell you the business. Okay, you'd sign the note, and you would start paying them, their money. And sometimes they would send down what they called breakers. Breakers would come in and they would have a route list, and they would start cutting the prices and take enough work where you couldn't afford to pay them anymore. So then they would
take the work back and sell it again.
The work back and sell it to
Jesus
someone
Christ,
else,
dude.
plus everything that you put in.
That sounds like,
I swear to God.
that sounds like some shit Richie Blue would do to you.
They in the late 80s, a lot of the larger companies got together and started the South Florida Window Cleaners Association. Okay, and it was every month they'd have a meeting at a restaurant, and I remember going with my dad. It was a shit show. Guys would fight and argue over jobs that paid $10 a month. You took this from me, you took that from me, and it was a bunch of animals in one room. So a guy had come down from New York, retired, sold his business up there, had a lot of money, and came down, and he was taking work from everybody. The guy had about $8,000 a month worth of route work, which was really worth about $10,000 to $12,000 a month because he was cutting prices. Yeah. The association got together, went to him and said, hey, there's enough work for everybody, and you're down here and you're killing us. And he was like, F you, get out of my face. He was an older guy. Well, then the association, they sent someone out to break his legs, and they left him in a dumpster.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the way it used to be when I started in window cleaning. And then over the years, as all that changed, those guys all retired or died off, and younger generation came into the business. It is a lot different now. The only difference back then was you could sell your work for 25 times the monthly revenue. If that was true, I would have retired 5 years ago.
Shit. No shit.
I'd have been gone.
Right.
But you had protection. It was almost like the mob. You had protection. If somebody was attacking your work, they'd send someone down to take care of them. And it was the wild, wild west, basically.
Dude, that's crazy.
And yeah. But I don't want to soapbox on this because everybody's got to get a chance. But when I don't do a lot of social media with my business, I don't promote that way. It's just I'm too old school. And my business has been around for 20 years. That's why I asked you, Jason, how long the company's been around. I've been around 20 years, so I naturally get phone calls. I naturally get opportunities that a newer company wouldn't have. And so my business self-feeds itself pretty much. But the only time I go after someone is if, I bought a small route down south of me, and the local guy there started attacking the work, and I paid money for the work, and now he's stealing it, so I went after his work, and the guy called me up, and he's like, what's going on? I said, hey, I haven't even made any money on that route, and you're already out stealing it. I know you are for a fact because I've got your card from 3 accounts you took from me, and I'm not going to stop until you're out of business, and this guy was a retired police officer, and he's like, we could work together. I go, why work together?
Now that you've been caught, now you want to be pals.
Well, exactly. Well, what I did was I followed him around.
Something similar just happened.
I followed him around, and I took 2 accounts from him, a car showroom and a sports bar. And then he called me crying because those were his 2 biggest accounts, and he's like, I'm just like a zit on your ass. I don't understand why you're taking it personally. I go, I pop zits that are on my ass, dude.
Yeah.
I said, I bought that business for 10 to the dollar, and you're stealing it. I go, so we can either play nice in the sandbox, but you're not getting back what I took from you because I took triple what you took from me. So we can move forward, or we can hash it out because I'll keep my guys on my route, and I will follow you around, and I will go into your customers, and I will cut your throat. But other than that, I don't mess with anybody. Pretty much the guys around here respect.
Me either. I was just asking that question because of what happened to me last weekend. So, I'm not gonna bring him up. I'm not.
Stuff.
I'm not really. I've buried the hatchet with this mister, and everything's cool. As long as he plays nice, I'll play nice. If he doesn't play nice, I'll light his ass on fire again with another video. But you know, I actually have a question here from Joseph Henry Hardy. I mean, you guys have it's all on the thread and shit, but you know, it's the only question we fucking got, so here it is. Here's a question for you. Let's say you have a job opening, 2 people apply for the position. First one is mad fast with a squeegee, but it's not detail oriented. The second one cleans glass perfect, but which is slow. Who do you hire, Mark? Do you hire the fast, sloppy guy, or do you hire the detail oriented guy?
No, I hire the detail guy and then teach him to be faster at his job.
Right. Because that's what I tell. That's a super easy question, but everyone that I have come work with me, like when I was teaching my daughters this year with Jeremy, I was teaching him. I was like, I want you to learn how to clean the glass. I don't want you fucking ragging the glass. We're washing windows, not ragging windows. With that said, I said, go slow. Don't try to be in competition with me to see who's faster, because I'm faster, because I've been doing it longer. I want you to pay attention to no spots, no shrieks, the edges wiped, the sills wiped. Speed will come with that. Do you guys all agree with that? I pretty much think that that's the way to go. If you're going to hire someone, you want someone detail-oriented. You don't want a fast, sloppy guy. Because fast, sloppy is just, you know what you're going to do? You're going to do it twice. That's what you're going to do. And doing a window twice is a lot slower than doing it once.
Yeah.
Fuck, Seth Byers is fucking sexy as fucking shit. Woo! He's gonna get all the chicks, all the women. Oh, that's right. He's getting married next summer. So am I. After 33 years of dating my girlfriend, I'm getting married. not 33 years.
Shit, dude, it's about time. Fuck, I've already been married and divorced.
Yeah, Jason knows. Jason actually introduced me to my wife, my soon-to-be wife. I call her my wife, but I met her when I was 15. I'm 39 now, so do the math. We've been together that long. I think we broke up like twice, and it probably equals like a year and a half.
All right,
So,
I got a question.
what?
Let's get back to window cleaning for a second.
Fuck.
This is similar to Mr.
Dude,
Hardy.
hey, listen, what do you think this is? A fucking window cleaning podcast? I was just getting ready to talk about dicks, and you just screwed it all up.
Okay, well, we'll get back to dicks. Don't worry about it. You know, and I'm sure it's going to be something to do with Seth's dick for some reason.
No.
So anyway,
No.
no, but listen, here you put out. You want to hire a guy, okay? Do you hire a guy that has some window cleaning experience, or do you hire a guy that has that doesn't know what a bucket is? Go ahead.
How about you, Richie? You go, Richie.
All right. Well, I'm going to answer that question. But first, I want to talk about a resentment. I just got a resentment. Hang on. Hold that thought, Mark. Okay. It's a good question. It's a good question for someone that gives a shit. But in the moment, I got a resentment. So I live in a condominium complex, right?
Right.
And so we have public communal washers and dryers for people that want to use them. And some people put them in their condos, other people, whatever,
Sure.
you know. So we don't have one. So I threw a load of laundry in just before I got on the podcast. And so I go out just now to switch it out and throw it in the dryer. And I open up the washer and some yum threw his fucking tennis shoes in with my wash, right?
No way. Are you serious?
It just happened, man. Yeah, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like, this is not even real. I mean, how could somebody even think about doing that? I mean, where people? I mean, you know what I mean? I was gonna write a fucking note. Actually, I'm gonna steal the tennis shoes and take them in my apartment.
No.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna fix this, Richie. I'm gonna fix this for you, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna fix this for you, buddy. Let me ask you a question. and just give me quick answers
Yeah.
so we don't get sidetracked. Is it a front loader or a top loader washing machine?
It's top loader.
Top loader. You're going to need a milk crate. Okay, go get a milk crate. Go back in there. Okay, bring a pocket full of quarters. Get up on your milk crate, and you have a choice: number 1 or number 2. Put it in there. Put the coins in, and I had a lady when I lived in an apartment, and they had communal dryers and washers. Everybody wanted this one dryer because it only took 50-cent cycle. You didn't have to put more money in it.
Right.
Lady took my stuff out wet, put it in a basket, put her stuff in there. So I opened the door, urinated on her clothes, closed the door, and was nice enough to restart the dryer. Exactly. Because let me tell you something. When you bake urine at 180 degrees,
Right.
yeah, she never did that again. Put it that way.
Dude, I'll tell you what it is, Richie. What it is today's society has no respect for its fellow man. None whatsoever.
No.
I want to believe that, okay, because there was 3 washers in use. There's 2 washers in use. I want to believe that maybe he mistakenly thought it was his wash, and he threw them in because the other ones were being used too. You know, there was only one washer open when I went to put my shit in. I'm hoping that's so. I told myself that's what it is because
he just made a mistake.
He just made a mistake.
Well, I want you to keep that in your head tomorrow when you develop athlete's foot underneath your arms.
Jesus. You can really just do that. You know, so
hopefully, the owner of said tennis shoes is as open-minded as you, because when you urinate in there, he says, well, maybe he thought it was the bathroom. You know?
Dude, that is so fucked up. Richie is the nicest guy ever. Because I tell you what, right now, those shoes would be out in the fucking courtyard right now. No bullshit. I'd have fucking grabbed those shoes and threw them out in the fucking courtyard and left a note on the door. Come knock at my door when you want to know where your shoes are at. You know what I mean? But it seems to me that...
It's not worth that. I mean, no harm. No harm, no foul. Whatever.
No
you got the things out there. It's like,
dude, I would sit on that machine... I would drop a foot long in there. I would drop a fucking nut bar in there.
And I'll tell you right now, if I was hiring somebody, I'd hire somebody with no fucking experience so I can make them clean windows the way I want them to clean windows. I don't want no bad habits.
I've done this in the past a lot. I mean, I've had guys working for me, quite a few guys, and then I was down to like maybe a couple guys or just one guy. And really it comes down to, I think, it's window cleaning. And, you know, unless the guy is just absolutely doesn't have any aptitude at all for it, I'd rather hire the guy with no experience and just because I want to see if he's got a good attitude, you know, and he's wants to show up on time, and he's not going to scare the customers away. You know, I mean, those are the kind of things I look for. You know, the guy's not, you know, wears a clean shirt. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Yeah. And then I could work with him because chances are I'm going to be side by side with them anyway for a while, showing them how to do stuff. You know, and granted, it's a little bit more trouble in the beginning, because you got to basically, you know, teach them how to clean the windows. But it doesn't take that long. I mean, and I know some of the bigger companies, like they're just in a pinch. They just need a warm body. They got to get something done. You know, and when I've gotten into situations like that in the past, I mean, I know enough. I've been cleaning windows long enough. I know enough people to clean windows. I call up people. I call up my friend Randy. I'll say, hey, Randy, look, I'm in a jam. I've done this before, you know. Can I borrow a couple of your guys? You know, just for a day or two, I'll pay them this much. You know, can you squeeze them in? And I'll work out a schedule with them. If I need to get bailed out, you know, and I need some guys that know what they're doing, and I don't have time to train somebody, I've done that before. But most of the time, and because I keep good relationships with the people that have window cleaning companies, you know, I know them. I mean, Mark, you talked about it one time about, you know, passing each other back and forth work and stuff like that. You know,
we do that.
So, I mean, you know, but what do you do if you find a window cleaner, he's an applicant, and he's got large feet, and he's really fucking hairy. So, what would you hire him? I mean, he may be a mythical creature. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hiring him.
I know. Yeah.
Him to...
Well, I want you guys. Listen, it's time for another Bigfoot moment with T Squeegee. So, this story here is from the Dayton Daily News. Is Bigfoot in Ohio. A group in Youngstown is searching for him. Bigfoot sightings crop up all over the United States, but the focus of one search group this weekend is a wooded area near Youngstown, Ohio. Oh, that's like real close to me. Yeah. California-based Searching for Bigfoot Inc. traveled to Girard in a city in Trumbull County near Youngstown after a man claimed he took a picture of a creature that looked a lot like the big guy. In fact, Xavier King told a Youngstown television station he saw Bigfoot twice while driving toward Youngstown. This is great. I love it when they see it when he's driving. That's the best. I had seen something. I don't know what it was. I had seen something. That's all I know, he said. I got out and I took a picture. King showed the pictures to a friend who sent it along to T.J. Biscardi, Director of Operations for Searching for Bigfoot. And the hunt was on. Biscardi says he gets a number of reports of Bigfoot sightings from Ohio at this time of year because the creatures are migrating north. They fucking migrate like geese, dude. I didn't know that. These are fucking facts. This is knowledge that I am dropping on you about Bigfoot. I would like you, when you run into Bigfoot, the first thing you got to do is pull up your camera. If you don't take a picture of it, I don't even want to hear about it. That's the first thing. And this guy took a picture. He stopped his car and took a picture. The group is hosting a $1 million bounty competition, a reward for anyone who can deliver information leading to the capture or discovery of an actual Bigfoot. Because King's pictures are in the part of the competition, Biscardi declined to share them. The dude didn't share the pictures in the story, which is bullshit, because I wanted to see him. This weekend, the group planned to camp near Girard, hoping to track a local creature with trail cameras and food bait. What do you think, do you think Bigfoot really eats beef jerky?
Yeah, he does. Jack Link's beef jerky.
Well, listen, have you ever had that shit? I don't really think it's that good.
Spam.
You would think someone that lives in nature, such as Bigfoot, would have a more discerning palate than Jack Link's. I would think if I was Bigfoot and I lived out in the wild, I would make my own beef jerky.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, do you think Bigfoot can make his own beef jerky or no?
He's got to make his own beef jerky.
This is bullshit, man.
It's probably so much better than anything you can get at the stores. You know?
Right. That's what I would think. I mean, it's natural, like deer jerky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it would be natural. He could season it with like berries and shit. You know what I mean? Or no?
No, yeah.
Have you ever found, Seth, up there in the north, have you ever found any Bigfoot scat?
I found some other weird shit, but none of that.
No Bigfoot scat. All right. Well, they think they're going to capture one of the creatures down there. So is anyone, and that was a Bigfoot moment with T Squeegee. Now, are any of you guys interested in trying to capture the Bigfoot $1 million prize? Would anyone in this group here be into maybe in November or something getting a group together and we'll do like an expedition to find Bigfoot? What do you guys think? No?
Yeah, good idea. Freeze your balls off in the process.
Well, I don't think you guys are very fun.
No, you can obviously hunt. You can obviously hunt them in August, right? Why wait until November?
Right. What? Go ahead, Richie. What's that, Richie? What were you saying, Richie? See, that's a Bigfoot call right there. I think that's Bigfoot making a scat is what that is.
So what would happen if you put a polar bear and a grizzly bear together? Who would win the fight?
A polar bear versus a grizzly bear? The polar bear wins because the polar bears are fucking huge, bro.
Some of those grizzlies are pretty huge.
Listen, man, grizzly bears ain't got shit on polar bears. Polar bears automatically win because they can swim and shit, dude. And they're from the north.
a polar bear would grab a hold of that grizzly, bend him over, give him 18 inches, and then eat him when he's done.
Yeah.
Trust me, when I tell you, the fucking polar bear. I knew a lady from Alaska. Dude, the polar bears come into town and fucking eat people. They come in and eat people.
When I was in grade school, when I was in grade school, they had this guy come in from the Natural History Museum. He brought in, this dude's doing water bong hits on fucking on the podcast.
What is
Jesus Christ.
Jason, you need to get closer to the camera, buddy.
Hey Jason, could you show us the inside of your nasal passage? I mean, if you're gonna hit your water bong, please put it on mute. He said that wasn't me, man.
Wondering, dude. Jason,
anyways,
the camera just goes on.
Anyways,
It wasn't me, man. I was spraying some brake cleaner. See that? That's what I was doing.
Anyway.
I was spraying brake cleaner.
Anyway. You were huffing brake cleaner, motherfucker. Hey, listen. Anyways, this polar bear, Richie.
The polar bear.
They brought.
The reason why I thought of that is because I always wondered who would win a Yeti or a Sasquatch.
The Yeti would win because it's cold weather adapted. It's like fucking Wolverine and shit, bro.
Okay, man.
Sasquatches. Hey, Yetis are interdimensional creatures, and so are Sasquatches. So they would like fight, like they would teleport and come back and fight.
Hold on.
What?
I got an addition to make to that, dude. Listen. Yetis are Japanese. Okay?
Yeah.
They would win because they fucking know kung fu.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So.
Yeah.
So. Anyways, like I was saying, Richie, they brought in a stuffed, what are they called? What are those polar bears? They brought in this dead stuffed polar bear, man, and it was taller than the friggin' basketball hoop, bro. This thing was like 13 feet tall standing on its hind legs. I'm not kidding. It was gigantic.
They get to be 15.
Yeah, and grizzly bears are not that big, bro. Have you guys ever watched Grizzly Man before? That sounded like two Sasquatches in like a compromising position.
Listen.
What is that?
You guys are out of control, man.
Richie wants nothing to do with this now. He's like, dude, I would just wanted to talk about Yetis and Sasquatches and polar bears and grizzly bears, and you're pulling up gay porn. It is, too. That is so bad. I can see the reflection of two wieners touching in your eyes, Mark. I just zoomed in, bro. Mark, hey, Mark. I'm glad I hope you're happy. Richie's about to run off. Look at him. He's not amused by any of this. Look at Mark. He's like, I used to be the good-looking one, and then you fucking invited Seth on. Now look, nobody takes me seriously. Some guy put his sneakers on my fucking laundry. I'm pissed.
Right in the water. The fucking rest of my shit. I couldn't believe it, man.
I mean, so no. Well, I am because it bothers the shit out of me that Richie didn't go ram his fist on that dude's throat.
Yeah.
You know,
I would have shit in his sneaker. I would have took the sneaker to my house, shit in it, and then set it on top of the washer with a note that says "all clean, all clean." I'm so glad we brought sexual white chocolate on the show, Seth Byers, tonight. Jesus, I mean, look at the eye candy. He doesn't even have to say a whole lot. Every time he gets on the show, the episode, the downloads are like 3 times as much as they used to be. Chicks dig Seth Byers. Yeah.
Maybe.
It's probably because you look like Ben Roethlisberger, just like less rapey.
I don't have any public bathrooms here to hold.
No, yeah. I can't hold no chicks down in no public bathrooms out here.
Is it possible to hear a ghost story, Jason?
Jason don't know no ghost stories. What is this? What
do you want
Goosebumps?
to hear, Richie? I'll give you anything you want, buddy.
I want to hear about an adventure. Your most scathing, your most frightening adventure.
As most people, all right, now listen, I'm setting this fucker up on a tease. So, Jason, don't over embellish and act like you pulled out your fucking ectoplasm machine or nothing and shot no fucking ghosts. You know, Jason, so some of you may not know, Jason actually, I don't know how much active he is anymore because he's always fucking cleaning windows and squirting bleach on shit. But, Jason runs a paranormal investigation team, or used to. I don't know if he does anymore, but I know he's part of one. And Jason organizes a lot of events in the paranormal community. Me and Jason have actually been on a couple investigations together, and I tell you what, it's fucking creepy. Did you hear that? We added the squeaky door noise for effect.
Yeah.
We're setting it up.
No, actually,
dude.
I can't believe you guys can fucking hear all this shit.
Can
really.
you? Hey,
seriously?
Can you? Jason's. I can't believe you heard my water bong. Jason, is it? I don't know if it's worth the story tell or not. But what about the very first ghost story I ever heard, or instance that I ever heard that involved Jason Snyder, which involved your parents too? Will you talk about the one at your house? Can you tell that story or no?
Yeah, I can do that real quick, just for you, Richie. Though I'll make it fast.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, man. I like
this. Is really good. This is really good.
All right, so I grew up in a family who always believed in ghosts. Okay. My grandmother, who was ailing from brain cancer, spent her last days in my house, basically. She did eventually die at the hospital, but the year and a half that she spent at her house, I spent by her bedside almost every single day. I was just a toddler. And she died. And when she died, all these strange things started happening around the house, okay? It got to the point to where it was my father's mother. It got to the point to where even him, the hardcore skeptic, had even nailed a window shut because it wouldn't stop moving up and down. He put 16 penny nails into the window frame so it wouldn't move. And he still denied it to this day. Okay, now, but the thing is that my older brother, who's 5 years older than me, he woke up in the middle of the night. He had seen her walking the hallways. We had seen a lot of unexplained stuff. And but one night, my mom and my father were sitting in the kitchen table, and they were doing taxes. So they had a box right in the middle of the table there that was full of paperwork and whatnot. And mom and my dad were just talking about how these incidences around the house were affecting us kids. I was having problems sleeping, nightmares, what have you. And of course, we were hearing our parents talk about this as we laid in our beds at night. So we knew that it wasn't just a part of our imagination, that they were concerned about it too. But right about that time, it was about 3 a.m. in the morning, my father says, I don't care what anybody says. I don't believe in this shit whatsoever. I don't believe it's my mother. I think the whole thing is it's just bothering. And I don't know what else to say. In the box that had all the paperwork in the middle of the table, turned very, very slowly all the way around. And then it just stopped. And my mom looked at my father and said, "What do you think about that?" And I mean, he was white. I mean, yeah, no pun intended. He was white as a ghost. It scared the living daylights out of him. But after that, there had been no other experiences in the house. So we kind of figured that my mom to this day, who's like one of my biggest fans, obviously, she still claims to this day that my grandmother was attached to me. I say that it might have been maybe she tried to move on and needed to let everybody know she was okay and whatever the case was. But that's kind of what catapulted everything.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of different stuff. I can sit here and talk for days about all the instances and things like that really happen. Actively, I don't investigate, but maybe 5 or 6 times a year with my team. I do a lot of hosting of large-scale paranormal conferences and things like that across the Midwest. So that's been, basically my main motive lately in the paranormal. But research has always been near and dear to me. So I mean, I believe what I believe what I believe. I believe what I've seen. We take a scientific approach to everything. But at the same time, too, there's a lot of non-believers out there, and I mean, I don't judge anybody one way or the other, man. But
I got a couple questions for you. Then.
Right. Sure.
Well, number one, have you heard the story with Harry Houdini and his wife?
Yeah.
When Harry Houdini,
several.
Well, the last wife. Well, I can't say that. From what I've heard, he said his greatest trick is going to be to come back from the dead, and he had a code how did they do it? He had a code that
he would, if he could come back, if Harry Houdini could come back, as if there was an afterlife, he would come to his wife and mutter or say these, she knew this certain phrase, he would reach out to her with this certain phrase.
Right.
Yeah. And it didn't. Why is it that it appears some people can come back or hang around and some don't?
Let me take this. I don't think personally, and this is just from what my understanding and what I think and what the evidence and stuff that I've seen doing, investigating and reading into this stuff. I don't think it's so much who can or cannot. I think it's all about energy is what I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if something, traumatic or, or someone feels like emphatically for a person like Jason's grandmother spent her last days with Jason, you know what I mean? And her energy was attached to him, so it kind of lingered. So if there's like a haunting, let's say, it's usually something, a lot of emotion and a lot of energy kind of was expelled at that location. So most likely, I think that the world around us can hold energy is what I think. And sometimes it just lets it go. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, Jay?
Well,
yeah, I kind of agree with you there, T. And here's the thing. We were doing an investigation on a farmhouse that was out in the middle of nowhere. It was like a quarter mile from anybody as far as the nearest neighbor was concerned. And while we were doing an EVP session downstairs, we picked up this brutal argument and fight on our recording that was happening in the background behind everything that we didn't hear initially. It was determined that, the reason why we were there is some 25 years ago, a man had killed his wife and killed the 2 kids and then killed himself. The only thing that we could come up with after, going back to the residence, trying to debunk, recreate the situation and everything else, was that we actually picked up the residual energy of one of their fights that happened in the house, when they were still alive.
I think everything is made of atoms, man. You know what I'm saying? The house, us, the grass, the dirt, everything is atoms. So what's to say that there's not a transference of energy between atoms? Who knows? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know, man. We don't even know if fucking Bigfoot makes his own beef jerky or not. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know who would win between a fight between a grizzly bear and a polar bear. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's too much to wrap our heads around, man. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Mark and
I had one thing happen that I believe was ghost related. I was dating this girl. I was like 17 years old. The thing's is a joke. It's not going to be a joke this time.
No. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Shit.
There's no punchline.
Whoa. There's no punchline. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm dating this girl. Before I met her, her mother's boyfriend died in a motorcycle accident. Okay. He lived in the house. He was a hunter. He had 3 guns. Or he had, those gun racks that hang on the wall?
Yes.
And there's a little ammunition drawer in the bottom?
Right.
And in order to get the guns in, you got to lift them and turn them to get them out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like,
right.
Okay, so one day I came home. I was going to night school. I came home late, and my girlfriend's mom had a shotgun in her lap, and she had a can of gun oil, and she was cleaning the gun. And I said, are those Howie's guns? And she says, yeah, Howie was the boyfriend that died.
Uh-huh.
And she says, yeah, they're starting to, they need some attention. Do you want to help me? So I said, sure. There were 3 guns in that gun rack. The top one was a shotgun, the middle one was a rifle, and the bottom one was just some little pellet type gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I walk into the room and I grab the pellet gun, which was on the lowest tier of the 3-gun holder. I grab it out. I sit down on the couch. I grab a towel. I wipe the gun down. I put the gun oil on it. Lubricate it. And just then, I put the gun back. Okay. Just then, we got sidetracked watching something on TV or whatever. And in about 5 minutes, I heard a crash. And I go into the bedroom, and the rifle was laying on the floor. Okay. Which is virtually impossible for that rifle to fall out. The way that they go into the holder, it would have to be lifted, turned, and I know I didn't. Even if I hit it while I was taking the other gun out, it's impossible.
I like the fact that you still to this day you're stammering over. You're like, I don't know how it came out of there, man.
And so, Diane, my girlfriend's mom, says, it looks like he might think we forgot to clean that gun.
Yeah.
And that
dude,
kind of
that's
sent
a trip, man. Yeah, no shit. And
I got that gun, cleaned it. Yeah. And I told about 5 people that story.
I've got one for you guys that happened to me recently. Is about 2.5, 3 years ago. And I actually reached out to Jason. I actually called Jason the night this happened, or texted him the night this happened. I was sitting in my house, which many people know, and I've said on the podcast several times, I live in the house that my grandparents owned, which I was raised in until I was like 16 years old, or 15 years old when I moved next door to Jason and his mom. With my mother. I lived with my grandparents that long, but I own their house now. My grandmother and my grandfather passed away about 4 or 5 years respectively. I was sitting maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 months after my grandfather passed away. It was, like middle October, late October. It's still kind of warm outside, so the windows were still open. That beautiful breeze up north we get when it's like in between October and November, those really nice-ass nights. So everything was open. I'm thirsty. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm a lazy fat bastard. I was like, hey, Jen, I see somebody in the kitchen. And I'm like, I'm laying on the couch. And the couch is on one wall. And then the kitchen is a galley kitchen kind of behind us. You know what I mean? Like behind. So I'm sitting on the couch. I couldn't see into the kitchen, but I seen Jennifer's shadow on the wall. And I'm like, Jennifer, grab me something to drink. And, I wait like 2 or 3 minutes. And I was like, will you please can you reach me a glass of water, please, so I don't have to get up, you know what I mean? Because I was whooped. I was up and down the ladder like 20 fucking times that day, per hour, doing fucking gutter work, you know what I mean? So I'm dragging ass. I'm like, can you give me a glass of water? And she doesn't reply, and I'm like, Jennifer. So I get up and I walk into the kitchen, and there's fucking nobody standing there. Jennifer and my son are in the bed in our bedroom sleeping, and my daughters are not in the house. They're actually out at a fucking haunted house, okay? I'm the only one in the house awake, and there was a shadow on the wall 5 minutes ago. I swore up and down was Jennifer, and I'm telling you, that was, I still believe to this day that was my right now, I wish I could show, I've got fucking goose pimples right now just thinking about it. It freaked the shit out of me. It freaked me out so bad, texted Jason. I'm like, Jason, you got to come down here and bring your shit down here and find out what's going on in my fucking house. And then he calls me. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, dude, and Jason could tell you, I was shook. It freaked me the fuck out, dude. You know what I mean? Because I've been in some weird places down in southern Ohio. Maybe not a lot of people know this or not, but there's a spot called the Moonville Tunnel down in the middle of the Wayne National Forest. We went down there when we were younger. Me and Jennifer and another couple went down there looking for ghosts. And Moonville is an abandoned town that a railroad used to go through there, but it was long since gone, so the town's gone, and they swear you can see a brakeman in the tunnel swinging a lantern. You know what I mean? I've been in some scary spots. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of the Wayne National Forest, I mean, you can't see your fucking hand in front of your face. You know, it's dark. You know what I mean? And Athens, Ohio is creepy any fucking way. So look up Athens, Ohio if you get a chance. That's a creepy ass town and area. And it's all limestone, which a lot of limestone and a lot of water, and I think that has a lot to do with paranormal activity. But this,
it holds energy, bro.
This scared me more than being down there in that. You know what I'm saying? That shit scared, and I still to this day I cannot tell you what that was. I plain as day saw someone because it's like I could be sitting on that couch in there right now, Jennifer be in the kitchen, and there'd be a shadow on the wall. That's how commonplace it was. You know, it didn't even register. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in there trying to wake her up. You know, she's like, "What are you pussy?" You know, you know what I mean? I was like, "No, dude, it just freaked me out." She's like, "I've been trying to tell you for weeks that your grandma straightened the picture in the bedroom. You didn't want to listen to me then. I was overreacting." My daughters and her were sitting on the bed folding towels. And they were talking about how my grandma used to fold towels as the best way to fold towels. And there's this big old picture of Marilyn Monroe. I bought my soon-to-be wife on the wall. Huge ass picture, and it's kind of crooked all the time. Well, Jennifer's like, we were sitting there. She goes, "I shit you not, that picture straightened itself." And that's something my grandma was always the type that it was the little things all the time. Like, this was crooked. Oh, that's dirty. That's dusty. You know, there's one glass and one plate in the sink. I've got to wash that. You know what I mean? She was that
Southern
person. You know,
yeah. Bro.
Southern housekeeping. She's a Southern lady. Yeah. So, you know, dude, scares the shit out of me, man. Scares the shit out of me. I mean, I actually went out looking for this shit, and then it happens to me, and I'm like, man, I'm a little scared of shit, man.
It's different when it's in your own place, bro.
Listen, speaking of haunting, Seth Byers is fucking hauntingly handsome, and I want to.
Hey, let me say something. Wait,
I want to know.
What? Serious question.
What?
Okay, the way this podcast is laid out,
for
some strange reason, it looks to me that TJ is on top of Seth for some reason.
Yeah, baby. I've got it all worked out that way.
I see that.
Richie is gone right now. Richie is gone shitting in some guy's tennis shoe.
Yeah, he's trying to take a dump in the dryer.
Yeah. Seth, have you ever had any haunting experiences in your life? You live in Connecticut, right?
I got a bunch. So my cousin lives in this town, Sonnet, and maybe Jay knows this. The Bridgewater Triangle. You ever heard of that? It's in Massachusetts.
No, I haven't heard of it either.
It's this big area of paranormal stuff from the King Philip War. Basically, the Indians fought the Pilgrims here. It was a big bloodshed, and it's an Indian burial ground. And so he's abutted to this place that's called the Freetown Forest. And in there, it's rumored that all the native spirits go there. And I thought it was all bullshit. And I'm walking around his backyard, I'm drinking beers, and you could hear like drumming or something that sounded like drumming in the backyard. And he walked out towards the woods, like where his yard kind of abutted the woods, and you just felt like this wave of just like cold, and it just was creepy as hell. And we walked into the forest a bit, and I got chicken shit and like ran.
Right? Hey, I'm okay with grandma haunting me, but if you're like a fucking Indian or some shit or a pilgrim, I'm Richie.
I was out of there real quick.
Oh, what's Richie got there?
Richie's got pizza,
Richie, hold that up. Hold that up. Let me see that.
Man, that's messed up, bro.
Man, that looks amazing, brother.
Hey, I tell you what.
That looks good.
Richie turned me onto this thing. You take a nice, fresh, long. Mark's probably got a heart on right now. Nice, fresh, long, soft baguette. And what's the meat called? I call it pepperonis, but it's not pepperoni. Sopressata and some fresh mozzarella and a little bit of mayonnaise, and stick that all together in a dude, I mean, just thinking, my mouth started watering. Dude, I gotta stop eating that shit. I'm gonna be as big as a fucking house, bro. Skinny ass Richie's like, hey, check this out, you're gonna love it. Now I'm like eating that shit like it's like chicken nuggets, you know.
It's not. Well, I had Perry out here for about a week. He was in San Diego, and This is when we first started working together. And I took him down to this place, this deli, where everything's cut fresh and, fucking big cheese hanging in the fucking everywhere. Anyway, I fed him that, dude. He was just like out like a light, man. Like after he ate it, we came over to my place and he sat on the couch and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him and all of a sudden I look over and he's snoring, man. It was like a bomb, man. Just hit him, dude. He just like comatose. He went right out.
It's so good, man. It's just the perfect amount of salty and spicy and sweet and all that good stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that, man. That sounds great.
It's good. Try it out, Jay. It's worth it, bro. Jason, believe it or not, Jason is full blown, almost full blown Italian. I mean, he's a redhead, but I'm telling you, his mom makes the best of sauce I've ever had, the best of gravy. It's so good. His mom makes this gravy, this spaghetti sauce. It's off the chain, bro. When she makes it, she makes me a big giant ass tub of it, and if I miss it, she's like, "I made extra sauce and you didn't come and get it." She's all pissed off at me. I'm like you didn't eat that shit.
Mm-hmm. That's because, dude, that's an old world Italian recipe that came from Italy with my family,
and that
hasn't changed
delicious.
in 100+ years, man.
Yeah,
that stuff is amazing.
The only thing is, like, occasionally you get a big ass like a basil leaf or something in there. You got to get rid of the basil leaf. You don't want to eat the basil leaf.
Bay leaf.
That's
the bay leaf.
Oh my god, her sauce is so good, dude. So good.
Yeah. Good shit, man.
It's almost as good as Mark's sauce. I really like Mark's sauce too.
It's disgusting.
I don't mean that sauce, dude.
Hey, look, man. If we can I'm just going to go ahead and head this off at the pass, but if we can avoid talking about buttholes and ding-dongs, this show is great.
Fine. If you want to ruin the whole podcast, fine. We'll just ruin the whole podcast.
Well, you're talking about Mark's sauce and how sexy Seth is.
No, I'm saying Mark makes good sauce,
dude. Be brought up. I just knew it was coming,
dude, Mark makes good sauce. It's gravy, and he learned how to make it from me. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's an old world recipe that came over from Virginia. So fuck you, Jason. Hey, the dude. Hey, there's a dude
came over from Virginia.
There's a dude, St. Charles, Virginia. That's might as well be another world. Anyways, so there's some guy. He's like, dude, I really would like it if I could watch your podcast with my family. And could you cut down on the cursing and the dick jokes? And dude, it's really hard not to say, like, talk about wieners and talk about, tell dick jokes. You know, it's really hard not to say curse words. You know what I mean? It's so hard. I mean, do you guys think that
you said hard?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Do you guys think that the show is too rated R?
For kids, yes.
Well, yes, for kids, but I'm not watching this with my kids.
Watch a podcast with kids.
I
what
know.
Are you doing?
What are you doing?
Throw on the Disney Channel or something. I don't know.
He said, "What are you doing?" I get it. I understand, though. I do understand. Some guys, it's hard for them to find the time to get away to do anything like listen to a podcast. But if you want to listen to the podcast, you can download the podcast free on iTunes or Podbean and listen to it while you work. You don't have to watch it on YouTube. I know everyone wants to see how sexy Seth Byers is, but but you can listen and hear that he sounds sexy too. You know what I'm saying? So there's a plus and a plus there. You know what I mean? So I do understand. I will try to. I'm trying to not say as many curse words.
Here's the thing.
Well,
look,
Jason's got to stop hitting the water bong off
your
camera.
Podcast,
it's really screwing up the whole show.
This is your podcast, TJ.
Stop, man.
We're all along for the ride.
That's what it sounded like, dude. Whatever.
What?
I'm giving Jason shit about the water bong. I mean, of course, Jason wasn't hitting the water bong, but that's what it sounded like, dude. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, how do we know he's not giving himself an enema? You sure that's a water bong?
Hey, man, Richie is eating, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Richie's had a rough podcast. Somebody tried to wash there's Air Force Ones with his fucking jeans, and he's not happy about it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Now his cigarettes are not going to roll up in his sleeve the way they used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stretching my shit out with your big fucking shoes, man.
Dude, that totally took Richie down like 3 pegs. When he came back, I could see visibly like he was pissed. I was like, man, Richie's mad about something. You know, he's like, I got a bone to pick. I'm like, fuck, what did I say? Dude, that's crazy, though. So when you went back out there, what happened? I mean, this is the Outlaw Window Cleaner radio show, by the way, guys. And this is live breaking news. What happened with the shoes, Richie?
Yes, I went back out there, and there's this other guy in there now. He's getting, what is calandri. And so I'm kind of sizing him up a little bit. And so I go up to him, I go, are these yours? And I point at the, the table where I left them. He goes, no, those ain't mine. And I go, okay. I go, because I saw him. He just brought his laundry, and so it couldn't have been him. He was just starting, right?
Right.
And I go, well, the damnedest thing happened. I opened the washer up, and these shoes were in there. He goes, really? And I go, yeah, man. Some yum threw his shoes in my wash.
Some yum.
Yeah,
that's great.
Is that my shit? Not to cut you off there, but is the yum thing? Is that something that you've adopted from my vernacular, sir? Yeah, dude, I love it. I love how that shit just goes around, man. Yeah. You know where I got that from? I got that from Joey Diaz in the Church of What's Happening Now. If you want to watch absolutely or listen to an absolutely hilarious podcast, The Church of What's Happening Now with Joey Diaz, or you can go back to the Joe Rogan Show and download the episodes, the JRE Show, the Joe Rogan Experience with Joey Diaz, and I'm telling you, you will not stop laughing. The dude he's a Cuban immigrant, and he's absolutely fucking hilarious. And Seth is handsome. All right, now, where were we going? Richie, we found out that Richie has not found the culprit yet. So maybe we'll have to do another episode later on in the month to find out what happened in the latest episode of Somebody Threw Their Fucking Sneakers on My Laundry, Part 2. Dude, that's so crazy, man. So, Mark. Squeal, boy! Squeal like a pig. Richie, are you hard at work on innovations with the Gunslinger and Reach It?
I got a new hashtag.
Hashtags I don't get no breaks, man.
That's it, right there. Hashtags I get no breaks, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So
You're
working on it, man. I got new shit out, dude.
Still going 100 miles an hour, man. Seth, how has your Gunslinger experience been so far?
It's been really good for me. We do a ton of cut-ups with storms here, so it's really nice for me because I run like a 14-inch mop and a 6-inch mop, and it really helps out. So
why would you carry 2 mops for? That sounds so stupid.
Yeah. But it's awesome for me. I love it. And especially I got the holder on the front, so I tend.
What do you need? Hey, I'm Facebook. I'm Facebook guy. What do you need a loop on the front for? That's stupid.
Yeah. Right. So you actually need it, right? It's been one of the best things for me. So I can run 2 mops, take care of everything all at once. Especially residential, I find a great use for it. So. Dude,
I tell you what, on houses, man. I don't give a shit what any of these limey bastards say. It is the shit. It is the shit. For residential work, that Gunslinger is badass, man. You know what I mean? Because before I was always trying to I would do certain things. I would walk around with a squeegee on the end of a pole. You know what I'm saying? Or a scraper on the end of a pole. I'd have my plastic Boab with my 2 squeegees in my washer, and then my other loop for my razor, and then I'd carry my pole, whether I needed the pole or not, to put another squeegee on. Because where I work, a lot of the windows, and I know, like over in England and stuff, they got like 3 windows the same size, and I only need this and this, and you Americans are always overdoing it. You know what I mean? But here, you run into a lot of big windows with little narrow transoms over them, or, you know what I mean? It's always some extra ass window bullshit. So you're probably right about the Americans are so extra. Yeah. But there are a lot of instances where a smaller washer is going to save you time. And if you can carry a larger washer and a smaller washer, like Seth is doing, it saves time. You don't have to go up and down the ladder. You're not using the end of your washer to get shit wet. You know what I mean? It's nice to have a tool that's, everyone says, oh, it's so much bigger. It's not. It's not. The profile is, load up a plastic bucket on a belt. The profile, even the new one with the stuff that you could put it in at an angle, it changes the footprint so much and so much larger when you put a tool inside of a fixed compartment like a plastic Boab, that the footprint is larger anyways. So you know what I'm saying? When you use a traditional plastic bucket on a belt, you've got two squeegees in there, the handles are going to be sticking out way farther. The gunslinger envelops the tool. It embraces the tools. And if you want to be an awesome window cleaner, you'll buy the gunslinger because it embraces your tools. It makes your tools, it gives your tools a hug. It hugs your tools. You know what I mean? And who doesn't like it? What kind?
Hey, hold on a second though.
What?
Hold on. Listen to this. So I did get the gunslinger out last week, but only for 2, maybe 3 jobs, about an hour's worth of work total.
Okay.
But last week I did our 7 largest jobs. So I probably had the gunslinger on for about 45 hours last week.
Okay.
And yeah, so I mean it was a hell of a go run for, being able to check it out and see how well it worked out with my process. But I let some of my other guys use it because we made a decision last Friday that eventually we're gonna put an order in for 5 more of them for our company.
Ooh, yeah, you're welcome, Richie. You're welcome.
I mean, yeah, nice work there, Richie. Good work.
So, hey, this is my question though, Jason. Let's not get past this. Was your leg dry?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was your coworkers' legs dry?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Was there water everywhere? Was it splashing all around? Oh, okay. Well, now that we've got that all covered, let's continue.
Here's the other thing too.
Continue.
I'm a lot like Seth. I carry multiple strip washers, so I have an 18 and a 12 on me.
You're a lot like Seth, but not quite as handsome. But go ahead, keep going.
Right. No, not even in the same arena as that sexy motherfucker.
Yes, yes. See, there's 2 of us now that think it. So you're carrying multiple washers too. So you see, I'm not saying like a lot of guys are like, why would you want to have all that weight on your hip all the time? It's not all the time. It's just certain instances where you need a versatile piece of equipment on your hip. It can do everything, man. It does everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that way all the time. It's just when you need it, it's there.
When I use gunslinger, I very rarely carry more than 2 squeegees and a mop.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty much how I roll with it. But sometimes I carry more shit because and it's nice to have the option, I think. And I think most of the guys that are having challenges with it, I think it's just like any other tool. Like what we do is we get something and we want to make it work like the other thing that we used for 20 years or whatever. And it doesn't work like that. You have to have an open mind and it's not that big of an adjustment. You just have to get used to the personality of the tool and just work with it.
That's kind of like this. Right.
And like a lot of guys, they'll get the gunslinger and the first thing they do is they drop the mop back here.
Right.
And they put the squeegees up here. Why? Because that's how they've been using their bucket for 20 years.
That's the way Joshua Schoaf uses his. It drives me fucking bonkers.
It's not ideal.
That's out of control.
You can do it like that, but it's not ideal. And so some guys just insist on, it's got to work like this. I've got to have my squeegees out here. Okay. Use it like that then if you want.
But don't get mad at me if it leaves a dot of water on your side. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what like a lot of guys are like. Josh is like, well, dude, I'm sloppy. I don't give a shit if there's water on my leg or not. I just like it because He's like, Josh don't give a shit. He's like, dude, I like it because A, it looks cool and it can the colors match my business, and B, the tools go in and out of that bitch so easy. I'm not fumbling around looking. You know what I mean? Some people, it just don't matter. But
and he likes it too because it's quiet. That's what he said.
Yes, and it's quiet too. It is super quiet. But, you know, even though I've tried to mention, I was like, you know, if you stick that washer on the outside there instead of fucking flopping it in full of water, you might not get any water on you. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm like, well, I mean, some dudes are just like that, you know, and you can't, what can you do? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, when I'm walking, water splashes out of it. You know what I mean? Well, how much water you got? Oh, I filled it up to the top. You know, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? No, that's like Mark said. You just, when you buy a tool, you know, you gotta give it some room. You know what I mean? You gotta give it some room to breathe and be what it's designed to be. You can't expect it to be.
Richie and I were talking the other day, and again, I'm from the school of no bucket on a belt. Now I'm a gunslinger, you know, user, and so for me, I didn't have to change the way I did things as far as if I had a plastic hip bucket.
Right.
I had to. The biggest thing for me was not walking back to the bucket to drop my mop in there. I was still doing it for like 3 or 4 days, and I was like, I don't need to go back to the bucket. I got this right here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I kind of, after 30 years of washing windows, have changed the way I do things. But I didn't have bad habits because I had a plastic bucket on a belt. And I know for a fact that anytime I used to use my plastic one, I'd always have to look down to make sure that the squeegee went into the right slot. Whereas now, I don't even look. I'm just dropping it in there. Right. And it's bang, 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 bang. And like I said to Richie, as you wear your gunslinger in, it's like a pair of sneakers. You buy a pair of sneakers and they're tight the first few days you wear them.
Man, I fucking mad.
You have to bring the sneakers back up. You have to bring the sneakers back up.
Okay, it's like a pair of $700 loafers. The first day that you wear them, you're going to take pictures and look like a fat. No, they're not going to be comfortable till you break them in. You know, it's the same thing with the gunslinger. The gunslingers, like Richie said, they'll make their own personality based on what you do with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and then you know.
The other day, I called Mark. I said, "Hey, Mark, how do you get rid of bullet holes in glass?" Because I had this customer call me. I went in. It was his existing customer, right? And he had a bullet in his up in his glass. He goes, "Hey, can you fix that for me?" Right? And I'm looking at it. Right? I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I thought maybe there might be a way. So I called Mark. I go, "Hey, Mark, how do you fix bullet holes in glass?" Right? And he goes, "Bullet holes?" He goes, "What the fuck do you mean bullet holes?"
Shoot it again.
Shoot it again.
You know, sometimes you go out and there's these little, from a pellet gun or a BB gun or something, there's like a little crater on one side and a hole on the other, you know, one of those things. Yeah, so the moral of the story is I guess there's no way to really fix those, huh, Mark?
No.
Reload.
Duct tape.
Buy a bigger gun next time.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about putting like not liquid glass, but epoxy in it.
Yeah.
Something like that, and it turns yellow after a while. And
not only
whatever.
that, the damage is done if it's an insulated glass panel, because once that gas is out there, the glass is fucked.
Well, the fact that it didn't shatter into a million pieces tells me it's not an insulated panel. Most insulated panels are going to be tempered. That's an old window if it didn't bust out like that. But and again,
listen to Mark, Mr. Know-It-All, Mr. Fucking Know-It-All over here.
The epoxy that they use on windshields, it's made for you selling the car. That's all it is. You know.
What do you mean, the glass guys that come and fix your cracked windshield?
No, not the crack. If they fix
the chips or where like a rock hits it, they come and fix it.
It's a temporary repair. It's a temporary repair.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it will stop the crack from spreading for a while, but it's a temporary repair. Because I had a windshield put in my Jeep at Safe Light, and I was talking to the guy about it, and he said it's between you and I. He says it's a temporary repair. It'll last a year. It'll turn yellow or it'll fall out. So I mean,
okay.
I don't know how it is there, but I know in Florida, windshields have zero deductible. Just replace it, you know.
Right.
But as far as the surface glass, once it has that kind of damage, it's garbage, you know.
Wow.
What I did at the end of that is I just was like, okay, I'm going to tell this guy no, you know.
Excuse me, Richie. excuse me, Richie, and hey, TJ, it's been
What?
15 minutes since you haven't mentioned how handsome Seth is.
Because I'm too busy staring at him. Why don't you leave me alone, dude? I mean, he gets on. I let him talk like 4 or 5 times a show, and I mean, if anybody hasn't guessed that I just want to stare at fucking Seth, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I just like Seth. I don't know. I just like him. All right. It's not because he's handsome. It's just, I mean, that's just a bonus. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
How's that feel, Seth?
How's that feel, Seth?
I love when guys comment on how handsome I am.
What is that you got there, Richie? Why are you taking your belt off? Are you done working for the evening?
No, he's getting prepared for Seth too.
Yeah.
Just moving my shit over here, out of the way,
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, guys. I'm kind of digging the show. I really like the podcast. I know when me and Mark do you guys, when you guys get off the show, the next, you get off and download it the next day and listen to yourself? I mean, does anyone do that? I listen to every single one.
I listen to it work.
Huh?
I'll listen to it while I work. I'll put it on in my truck and listen to it if I'm driving around. Absolutely. It'll take almost all day to listen to an hour and a half podcast.
Right.
But no, I laugh again because I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Fun.
Not I.
I don't
I
understand
never re-listen
what is
to
going
any
on
of
in
my
the
radio
background.
shows or podcasts.
Why not, dude?
I don't know, man. I just don't like it.
Oh. What is that squeaking
What the hell
in
is
the
that
background?
noise?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hello?
That's Mark's.
hear that?
That's it's one of Mark's.
Let's see.
It's one of Mark's.
Show me your hand. Okay.
Show me your hands.
Hang on. I know what it is. Brady, come here, boy.
Is that? Oh, here comes Mark's
My dog-
doggy.
Come here. Come say hi. Wait, hang on. Come on. Up. Come on. Come here.
Is that CJ, your cat?
Dude, I don't have no cats, man.
No, Mark has a cat named TJ.
Oh,
doesn't he?
whatever. Gilbert. Dude, you know what's cool about this is, man, is that we are far along enough, and this is why this will probably not stop for a long time. There's so much deep cuts, you got, everyone here laughed because they know that Mark's got a cat named Gilbert. He called it fucking TJ, which isn't funny, but
meant to say I think Richie was confused. He meant to say TJ's a pussy.
Well, I am warm and inviting, sir. I will have you know. So whatever, bro.
Is that what it is? Your dog you're feeding right there?
Yeah. Come on up, Brady. Come here.
Yeah, let's see this dog here.
Freddie Mercury. Come on, jump up there. Let's see you. Let's see him. Come on. Where is he?
See him?
Look at that guy.
Oh,
big
dude, there's
dog.
a huge dildo on Mark's bed.
Yeah.
Dude, did anybody see that? Dude, it's huge. It's a large one. It's the kind you sit on when you're all alone and your wife's out of town.
For some reason, half of it is brown.
Pardon me.
Richie is the only one that does not laugh at those jokes. You notice that? All 4 of us are like, and Richie's like, oh my God, dude.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Richie, you remind me of. Do you think farts are funny, Richie?
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't understand. I'm a very emotional individual.
Yes or no?
Hide my
Yes or no? Are farts
feel
funny to you?
shit.
If you're sitting in church, listen, if you're sitting in church and some old guy, an old man, drops a boiler, do you laugh?
If it's a wet one.
Okay.
He's not going to give you a straight answer.
I laugh for a fucking hour.
Dude,
I have to eat.
listen, I got to tell you guys, and I thought Mark was mad at me. You want to know why I thought Mark was mad at me? Because I went almost an entire week without getting a fart in the morning. This dude, like, I'm not bullshitting you. Mark Tanner sends me a wet shower fart every single morning. I'm just every morning. He's like, dude, check this one out. And you can hear Mark snicker in the background. He's funny. And that, to me, the farts are not funny anymore. It's Mark laughing in the background at the fart. That's funny to me.
Yeah.
I was that kid in school. When someone would lean over and rattle one off the seat and no one else would hear it, I would hear it, and I would just fucking lose it and laugh. I'm sorry. I think it's fucking hilarious. Always have, always will.
Well, see, we had a thing here. We had a thing here where, I mean, and I don't know if Jason ever did this at Ehovie or nothing, but when we were in school, we always, instead of farting all the time, we would just sit up on our chairs and drop our ball sack out the bottom of our pants onto the chair and be like, hey, hey, and somebody would look over and they would see your balls sitting on the chair. You guys didn't do stuff like that? No?
What school did you go to?
Is that just me? Was it just me that does that?
Do that shit in school.
Oh, okay. I thought.
AT.
Whatever, Jason. I thought you had my back, bro. What?
Hey, TJ, was
Brian-
that considered?
Brian-
What, Jason?
That was great.
I said Brian Mitchell used to do that all the time. You remember?
I think that's who I learned it from. Is
Prob-
Brian. Brian's like,
Probably.
he's like, what you should, yeah, that is, Brian is the one that taught me how to do it. He's like, what you should do? This is what I used to do. And I did it a couple times, and it worked really good, man. It worked really good. Your balls just flop right out of the, and they just hit the, maybe you guys don't have sex that hit chairs. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
Dude, when I worked at this company, this is just a nuts story. When I worked at this high-rise company, this guy JR that worked there, we were there on a Saturday, and we had the keys, and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "You know that secretary? She's a fucking bitch." And I'm like, "Yeah." So he sits on the copier and takes a picture of his asshole. Right? He was gonna leave it on the desk, but what happened? We're trying not to laugh. Now I don't know how to run the copier, but the problem is that I hit 10, not 1, right?
Uh-huh.
So he sits down on the copier, and I fucking push the button, right? And the light goes across, right?
Yeah.
And we grab a page out of there, and it looked like an armadillo going into a cave. It was the bottom of his back and his asshole. So we laugh and we leave. Well, when we came in on Monday, it had printed 9 more copies.
Right.
We walk in and the owner goes, "Mark, I got to ask you something, man." I go, "What?" And he hands me the 9 copies. He goes, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm trying not to laugh. I go, "It looks like an armadillo." And who the fuck put an armadillo? And he goes, "I opened the copier and there's like oil all over it. Who the fuck sat on the copier?"
Oil? What does that mean? I don't.
Ass oil.
Dude, that's gross, bro.
Yeah,
That's gross, bro.
Yep.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Play music instruments? Anybody play a guitar? Or
Yes, sir, I do.
what do you got? Let me see it.
Well, all right, hold on a second.
I want to see some blues. I want you to lay down some blues, man.
Some blues.
No, I ain't playing. I'm not going to play for you.
I'm not gonna play.
I don't have anything hooked up.
Oh, you're electric. You ain't even got an acoustic for writing like songs and stuff.
No, man.
No, hell no. I don't mess with acoustics.
I got one in my house, but not here.
Where are you at, Seth? The sexy cave?
I'm at my shop.
That's your fucking shop?
You can afford a shop.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Jeez,
for now.
he is handsome, and hey, listen, I think he might be
He can
fucking
afford
Batman.
a
I think Seth Byers might be Batman. That's the Bat Cave.
Yeah.
That is the nicest shop I've ever seen. Are those the right to work laws tacked up on the wall back there?
Yeah, so I have that. I have a map of the areas we work in for our secretary. labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4, so she knows when she's scheduling which crews can handle that area. Ooh. So it helps her out.
That sounds almost as handsome as you, Seth.
Hey, Seth, you got a copy machine in there? You got a copy machine in there?
Right. I don't know if this piece of shit can hold you up.
I'm gonna get one of those portable ones so I could just Photoshop my ass or photocopy my ass everywhere I go, and leave that as an invoice. Like leave that $250 inside and out with a picture of my ass. Send it to me.
Maybe Dude, you ever see those videos of someone doing that and they fall through the copier?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, got a ass all cut up. Your ass all cut up. Got a piece of glass stuck in your ass, trying to be cute. I actually know someone that was just joking around. Hey, I'm going to take a picture of my ass. Didn't even pull his pants down. Just jumped up on the copier and busted it. He's like, oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I'm like, there you go, smart guy.
Yeah. That shit's glass.
He got his ass got fired from that job. They fired his ass for that, boy. Oh, yeah, they fired his ass for that.
Those things are expensive as hell.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
God.
What's he got there, Seth?
He's got beer. Listen, that is his shop, and he's got beer at his shop.
Right.
Dude,
right.
I got video games here. I got.
Listen, I'm not. You got video games. What kind of video games?
So I have this thing called the Retron 5, so I can play all old Sega games,
I like
Nintendo,
Nintendo
games.
Yeah.
We goof around afterwards.
Listen, I'm not saying he's Batman, but have you ever seen Seth and Batman together at the same time? That's all I'm saying. Look at that jawline. Oh my God, I think he might be Ben Affleck's brother, long lost brother.
Oh, I hope not.
God, I hope not.
Hey.
Those guys are always getting in trouble.
Yeah.
I got a window cleaning business. I got a business thing.
Hey, you know what? No. Maybe we're talking about the same thing. I want to know, because a couple of people have asked, what was it that you wanted to talk about on the next podcast episode about I bought something for my business and don't ever do it? What was it? You said, yeah. You. That's what I'm saying. Is that what you're getting ready to talk about?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's hear it. Because people want to know.
About, I would say it's 6-7 years now. I bought a reach-it pole. I bought a IPC hydro cart like what you have, TJ. Mm-hmm. I started getting into the water-fed pole, and that does add up. You know, I mean, a good system and a pole is $4 or $5 grand, you know, or maybe more.
Yeah.
And I had that. Everything was going great, and I got trapped into from WCR. They put instant financing. Okay, so I said, you know what? This might be something. I'd like to get another pole, another Reach It Pro, and another pure water system. And I filled out a thing, and I was instantly approved for $10,000. Right.
Right.
So I said, what am I going to get here? And I bought, a couple brushes. I bought another Reach It Pro, and I bought, I spent about $5,500 or something. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is my fault. I'm not blaming anyone for this. It is my stupidity. The contract, the email all contract, I fill everything out, I send it in. It's like $130 a month. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm the kind of person that let me back this up. I figured I would get the equipment and not have to come out of pocket right now. And then when a big account paid or the end of the year, I would just pay it off, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't read the fine print. And again, it's my stupidity. And my wife wasn't working in my office at that time. And all of a sudden, I told my wife, I said, Kate, stroke a check. Let's get rid of these payments. And so she did. Okay. She tried to pay him like $3,200. Mm-hmm. They sent the check back. And again, is my stupidity. I'll preface that. I didn't read it. It's a lease with option to buy with $1 buyout at the end, which means this: you're going to pay them. You can't pay it off early. Okay. And you're not going to save any money. So this equipment that I spent, let's say $5,500, is costing me $7,500.
Holy fuck.
Okay. Now at the time, I had money to buy this shit, but I didn't want to come off. I didn't want to break the bank towards the end of the year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, if you see this now, here's another thing. Like my lift, that lift was almost $50,000. Now that was a lease, but that's something $50,000. Not many people can stroke a check and pay it off.
Right.
I never planned to. You understand? So that was cost me $1,000 a month for 5 years with $1 buyout at the end of the lease, and it becomes your equipment. That made sense on $50,000, but leasing something for $5,000, $5,500, $6,000, or even up to the $10,000 that I was qualified for is a total fucking waste of time and money. Because you, like a car, if you have financed your car and you can save $1,000 in interest and pay it off early because you got some extra money, you can do that. But definitely. On a lease, your shit is owning it. Now, I've been talking to Perry recently. I'm not going to say what he's doing because I haven't been told it's okay, but he's got a plan coming in. It's more of all I will say is it's more of a layaway program, okay, that will benefit people.
Right.
Okay. So when it comes to equipment financing, such as, I had to lease my lift because most finance companies won't touch equipment. Right. Equipment is a lot different than a car. They can come take your car. It's still worth some money. You don't know what I'm going to do with a piece of equipment. You understand what I'm saying? So that was a good deal. But when someone tells you no money down and you can have up to $5,000 worth of stuff, make sure you read the fine print, because you're going to end up paying, 40% more for that equipment. And I can't get out of the lease unless I want to, ruin my
fucking deep, man. So the moral of the story here is WCR some hoe ass bitches.
Yeah.
And Mark Tanner can't fucking read. So that's what
You're right.
The fact, listen, that's a good cautionary tale there, because there's probably a young guy that's just getting into the business and he just wants the best shit he can get right now so he can make a shitload of money, and he's gonna do that same thing and end up paying $5,000 extra on $10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another thing that enticed me was I had never bought anything through my company, meaning I had to back everything, all the vehicles, the lift, everything is in my
on Mark Tanner.
So I said yes. I wanted to see what would happen if I just went under sky's the limit. So I filled out the paperwork without my social, but with my FEIN number.
Exactly.
And they gave an instant, I have terms with Racenstein, terms with several of the suppliers, but what do you buy? $500 here, $1,000 there.
Right.
I wanted to see what the business could do rather than put my own name on it. And it said, well, you can have up to $10,000 worth of equipment. But like I said, it's not regular financing; it's lease. And
that's
lease
super crazy, man.
It's absolutely it's horrible. But like I said, Perry's coming up with some other things. I believe it's along the line of put a certain amount down in a layaway and make payments, and you can have your equipment at a certain point. So look, not everybody wants a stroke check for $5,000 to $7,000 worth of equipment all at the same time. It's not easy. I'm sure, Seth, you know what I'm talking about. You have to equip a bunch of guys with equipment. If I told you, hey man, no money down, I'm going to put $10,000 worth of tools in your warehouse over there for you guys to go make you money. And you're thinking, well, every time that DI cart goes out, it makes $400 for the day. That's a win-win. And then use it for a couple months and say, you know what, pay this off. Well, you can't.
You can't.
I've had some. I've had one rough experience with them about a year ago. Like I said, I don't know much about water-fed pole, but I did buy a system. I bought a Zero Pure system because they talked me into it. I got the cart. I did everything. It was about $2,800 for a pole system, everything like that. And then I tried to go to a local supplier to change out my resin. And they told me it was a piece of shit, and that I have to buy it directly from them. So, I called them, I talked to them, I asked them that. I said, so like when I have to fill the resin and stuff, I have to get everything from you now. So it's things they didn't tell me when I bought the system. I didn't do my homework on it. I panicked. I had a big job. I needed it. And so I bought it. I mean, the big job paid for it, and I made, a couple $100 off of it. But it's, the more I've used it, I still send it out because I've already paid for it. I might as well.
Right, might as well, yeah. Yeah.
I have this stupid attachment on the back of the brush with the bronze pad, and you got to flip it over and scrub the window, and it wasn't what I hoped for, and they promised me it's top of the line thing you can get, and I had done business with them before, so I had some trust in them, and it's kind of opened my eyes. It was before I joined this group, and then I've got to see what Perry's done and looking at other things. It's kind of opened my eyes to kind of like what they're up to, and it doesn't suit my business.
Dude, it's, you don't know until you know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know neither. When I bought my pole from them, they actually talked me into buying the Reach It Mini. I was going to buy a facelift pole, and they're like, oh, this is the best pole on the market. What they don't know is I save all my emails. I'm lightweight a pack rat, even when it comes to electronic shit. I have terabytes of hard drives just sitting around in my closet. I have that email. One of these days I'm going to go through and find it just to, drop a big deuce in their mouth. But Alex Lamborghini's, the yellow one, with the white racing stripes, he's like, hey man, this is the best pole on the market, man. You should go with this. We're standing behind it. This is like one of the most innovative poles on the market. So I bought that one. I'm glad I did. Don't get me wrong. Look where I'm at now. I'm Captain Gunslinger. How you like them apples? But, dude, it's things like, and then, it wasn't but 6 months later, it was the worst shit they ever sold. You know what I mean? This thing's a piece of shit. And I'm like, in the Facebook group, I'm like, what? Motherfucker, you just told me this thing was the shit. You know what I mean? I just spent $1,200 on this pole and all this hose and this fucking brushes and all this shit, and now it's junk? What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That right there. And I started talking to Perry, behind the scenes, and Perry's like, man, he goes, there's just some stuff going on between us. He goes, just keep the pole. I'm telling you, you'll love it. And he was right, man. I still have the same Reach It Mini. I haven't replaced any of my clamps. None of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's all still just as cool as it was the day. it's got a shit ton of wear, but it stood the test of time, man. And that right there was like, you know what? There's something strange about this group of fellers and what they're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's unfortunate. Even with the release of the Gunslinger and the Samurai at the same time, there was some really a bunch of weird stuff that happened with that. It's just weird business. You know what I mean? And being in a community as niche as this, as Tim would say, niche, so small and so specialized, such as window cleaning. It's weird that guys are able to get away with things like that. So, Jason Snyder, I know that you're actually, you've got to go, don't you? You're not too far. I've noticed on the clock you're not far away from leaving me, aren't you? Jason's gotta go.
I appreciate you telling me the ghost story, man.
Yeah, Jason. It was nice having you on. It was super sweet looking at your nasal passages the whole night. I like the fact that you keep your nose hairs nice and trimmed. Yes.
I do. There's no bats in the cave.
No
either,
bats
bro.
in the cave, neither.
It
was a pleasure having you on. You're a dear friend of mine, and I'm super glad that other dude was a complete douchebag to me, and I was able to give someone that I know personally a bronze brush, and eventually, and ultimately my gunslinger. I just gave you my custom-made gunslinger away. My pre-order gunslinger, I gave it to Jason because he's my good buddy. And I wanted him to have nice stuff. Actually, I had ulterior motives because I knew his boss, the guy that he runs the company for, I knew that guy was going to see that and buy those. And then Richie was going to be like, dude, you're so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, bro.
We spent a lot of money on that side of the company. Not so much for myself, but on that side of the company, we spent a lot. So all good stuff. Richie, you've done amazing with it. I can't wait to see how it's going to progress moving forward. Seth, Mark, it's nice being on with you guys. T,
Absolutely.
as always, brother. I love you, man.
Yep, I love you too,
but
bro.
I got a 2.5-year-old and a 7-year-old that is just
Wreaking
fucking tearing my
havoc.
house upside down right now, man.
All right, brother. You take it easy.
All right, take care, guys.
Peace.
Later, man.
All right. Peace.
So, guys, we've been rolling for like 2 hours here, man. Is there anything you guys would like to add before I start to close the show up? Wow. Thanks. Here we go. Happier we'll be. My gunslinger, wherever I go, it goes. My gunslinger and me. That's what I'm gonna start a new series called My Gunslinger and Me on YouTube. It's gonna be super sweet, and I'm gonna sing that. I'm gonna have to get together with Richie so he can do the harmonica in the back on that shit though, so it's super tight, super tight. So what's that? Go ahead, Richie.
I was just going to tell Mark that I appreciate the tip on I believe I sidestepped the landmine on the bullet hole repair. So thanks, man.
Mark is full of gas and information, and he is willing to give you both whenever you'd like it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I take extra vitamins tonight so I get a special one for you tomorrow morning.
Sweet.
Well, that's what happened. My
apple juice. That's what he told me.
Yeah, apple juice. Yeah, oh yeah. But
maybe on another podcast we get Seth, if you come back on and you can explain to us, me especially, I don't know about anybody else, but I want to know how you can afford an office like that in addition to, with the window cleaning company, because I want to afford me an office like that, man.
I mean, dude, that office is as beautiful, almost as beautiful as he is.
It's been a lot of hard work. I would say to anybody new, I'll toss this out here. A lot of guys try to take a big paycheck for themselves, at the end of the month. I have reinvested probably 50% of my own earnings into the company for the past 3 years to get it where I want. And it's not something that comes over time. I mean, I was working out of my mom's garage 3 years ago. Leaving stuff there in a yard, and she's like, it looks like a homeless person's here, and there's ladders everywhere. Right. And it's like, you got to do what you got to do till you get to the point. And I'm trying to make this more of a lifestyle than a career.
Right.
And for me, I'd rather give my guys the best stuff I can give them, a good atmosphere to work in, and enjoy actually being at work.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense, man.
Spend a little bit to enjoy yourself.
Well, if you can't enjoy what you're doing, why are you doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Especially, and if you can't safely or ethically enjoy yourself while you're doing it, why be doing it? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Well, if it ain't fun, it don't make sense neither. You know what I mean? You got to have fun, and you got to enjoy yourself. And I know from working for people for a long time, it sucks going into work if it's a shitty workplace. You're just like, you dread going in there. But if you're going in there to hang out with a sexy ass dude in a sweet ass office and maybe drink some beers and play some video games later, I'm like, I can't wait. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Are you hiring, by the way? Because I will fucking move to work for you, sir.
Part-time help? You want to
Hey! I'll come up there and hang out.
You have any of those remember the old Dreamcast games? The Dreamcast systems?
Yeah.
I saw one. Yep.
I used to love Dreamcast. I loved Dreamcast way better than I did PlayStation. I was sorry. Yeah. When they did away with it. But I remember all those first-person games like Shadow Man and Metal Gear Solid. And all those.
Hell
you
yeah,
remember
man.
that?
Metal Gear Solid was the shit. Mark's like, what's Metal Gear Solid? What happened to Pong? What happened to Pong?
Nerd. Listen, I got a nerd story.
I used to like Pong and Pitfall.
No, never played any of that. No, where I'm doing this restoration, it's a tech company. It's a software, a huge software company that designs apps, and I mean, they have 4 buildings, and they employ thousands of people in these 4 buildings. And the funniest thing is, one of my guys, I'm rotating the guys in and out because it's very taxing. And Mike looks at me and he goes, "You notice what's here?" I go, "Yeah, nerds." And I go,
"Nerds!"
This building on one floor has a pool table, ping pong table, games, snacks. I mean, I'm like, doesn't anybody work around here? You know?
I'm gonna E-Honda the fuck out of you, Seth.
Oh, dude, that's all we play, man.
You don't want none of this. Dude, I can't believe Mark just said that. You know how much explaining I'm going to have to do?
Yeah, better get explaining.
Yeah, I better mansplaining. I'm at the mansplain the shit out of this episode.
You better not let your wife watch this episode.
Yeah, I'm done. That Mark Tanner's an asshole. Mark's only talking like that because his wife's out of town. You notice Mark's in the house now because his wife's out of town, so he's allowed in the house to talk dirty like that.
No. It's usually much busier between two dogs and Gilbert. And so it's easier in my shop.
Right.
You know, less distraction.
Right.
You know, I got a cat sitting on the thing here wanting to eat. You know, I got dogs coming up to me. That's why I do it.
I got dogs bringing me jars of peanut butter. I don't know why.
Come here, Dad. Get the peanut butter.
Come here, Sparky. Let Daddy show you what the peanut butter jar does.
Yeah. We're going to show you the popcorn trick.
Well, guys, I did not do an intro to this show. I just started up the recorder and I started recording. So the first part of this is just us bullshitting, waiting for people to get in. And you're just going to have to deal with it. I'm just putting them up raw and uncut. Yeah, unfiltered. I hope everyone... Like I said, there's an Easter egg in here. There's a super duper Easter egg in here. And it came out of Mark's rear end. So no, but if you guys, this has been the Outlaw Window Cleaner radio show. If you want some super sweet Outlaw Window Cleaner t-shirts, you go to www.outlawwindowcleaner.com. On there, we also sell some Black Diamond squeegee rubbers, some Legend channels, and some stickers, a coffee mug or two. We got rid of all the dildos. We're all sold out of those, so we don't have any more of those. And if you want a gunslinger that's been mentioned through this episode the whole time, because we are here with
Eddie's old. Sorry, that was me. My
Jesus, bad. Mark. Mark's got to lay off the gay porn while we're doing the podcast. Anyways. If you want to buy a gunslinger, okay, and we've been talking about it a bunch because Richie Blue, the inventor, like Einstein, Thomas Alva Edison, Tesla, the inventor, Richie Blue, has been on the show. So if you want a gunslinger, go to www.futurecleaning.com and get you a gunslinger. They're pretty slick. They are pretty kit.
Thanks,
and,
man.
If you want any other kind of window cleaning supplies, I go to like Windows 101 or DetroitSponge.com. Don't lease stuff from people, man, because you're going to get screwed in the long run. Do what you can and live within your means, and don't buy shit from drop shippers.
Or if you want to get your Black Diamond squeegee rubber, go to
BlackDiamondSqueegee.com.
What?
BlackDiamondSqueegee.com. That's where you get it from.
Exactly.
What about your Legend?
The Legend channel. The Legend channels, you can get them from Black Diamond Squeegee as well.
Okay.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
What do you get from you, man?
Well, from OutlawWindowCleaner.com, you get Outlaw Window Cleaner t-shirts. You get Black Diamond Squeegee rubbers, the round top and the T-top. And you can get Legend channels from there as well. I mentioned that.
Thank you.
Oh, you already did that?
I mentioned that. Yeah, I mentioned that.
What about Squeegee Life stickers, man?
You can get Squeegee Life stickers. You get those from me directly. I don't charge people for those.
Oh, you don't?
Nope.
TJ, I need one of those.
So you got who all needs one? Does everyone on this podcast need one? Seriously?
I don't have one.
Get the fuck out of here, for real. None of you guys do?
I don't have one.
That's because I don't like you assholes. That's why. Seth, you haven't sent me one shower fart, and neither has Richie. So until I get the trifecta of shower farts, I'm not sending any of you guys fucking Squeegee Life stickers. No, hey, inbox me, Seth. Inbox me your address. You too, Mark and Richie. I've already got yours. I'm just a piece of shit and haven't sent you one. I'm sorry, bro.
Just to let you know that I do have emotions. They're inside.
I know. They're inside. You know? They're inside. You don't see them. They're inside. I'm introverted. They're inside. I don't share them. You know. But guys, it's been awesome. Seth, I'm glad you came on. You can come on anytime you want, and hopefully, you know, all you gotta do is hit me up. Just be like, hey man, hey, I got some time. Can I get on the podcast with you and Mark? I'll be like, sure. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people.
Anytime, man. Just let me know when you need somebody.
No. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. Yeah, hit me up. There you go. Some people get mad because they're like, dude, why do you have all the same guys on all the time? Listen, I want to speak to business owners. I don't want to speak to the guys that are punching the clock for business owners. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a skewed view on the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a douchebag, but you know, I'm not trying to talk to the kid that works for Fish. You're just some kid. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to talk to you. No. I don't like you. You stink like shit.
The whole idea behind talking about window cleaning is very rarely will you get too much out of an employee.
Yes.
But as a business owner, you know, like I shared with you how I made a mistake about leasing equipment.
Yeah.
You know, that could easily have been paid off.
Yeah.
Or Seth talked about moving into his warehouse and out of his mom's garage.
Yeah, and all we're going to get from a guy that works for Seth is, man, we get shit-faced to play Karate Kid and shit. It's dope, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that machine, Mark Tanner, he leased for us, man. It's super awesome. I clean a lot of windows with it, man.
Yeah,
From 6:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon, I clean windows with it. It's super cool.
Yeah, he thinks he's funny all the time, but he's really pretty stupid or something.
Right? No. Listen, I'm only being a jackass. Some people are just not made for, you know, they have a face for radio. You know what I'm saying? You know, just some people.
So poor Henry.
Yeah.
He's still crying about that.
Actually, I was going to have Henry responded to later. I would have had Henry on because I'd like to know what's going on with Henry. I know Henry's going through a lot with his wife. I think it would have been nice to get Henry on and get him to chuckle a little bit. I like Henry.
Yeah,
you know,
he's a good man.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and he's going through a lot. So our thoughts and prayers. I don't do thoughts and prayers, but like, you know, I hope the universe covers you guys and all the energy and love you guys deserve. And I hope your wife pulls through this pretty good, man, because you guys deserve it. She's been suffering a whole lot from what I've seen the last year or so, man. It's kind of shitty that she's going through this. So we're thinking about you, Henry. But you know, this is Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio with Seth Byers, Mark Tanner, my fucking co-host with the mostest, my co-hostess with the mostest, and of course the super talented and always handsome Richie Blue with his slick back haircut, his t-shirts that smell like sneakers, and his super awesome gunslinger.
Richie, let me ask you a question. Richie, were they filming Grease 4? Because you look like you just got off the set of Grease 4.
Yeah, I was telling TJ the other. I was walking. I called TJ up, and this girl comes up to me. She goes, "Oh, you must like rockabilly," and I said, "You have me confused. I'm heterosexual."
All right. Well, that was Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio, guys, and we sure as shit appreciate you guys for listening. So, for the gang here, we'll see you later. Peace, fellers.
Peace. Y'all
Peace.
Be good.
Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio, reminding you to get your black diamond squeegee rubbers at www.outlawwindowcleaner.com. Oh yeah, and Luke's still a bitch.